And a very big welcome back. Hey, how's it going, Forum? Great to have your company once again. Well, it's Steve Johnson back as usual, doing the same old thing and getting some result. We all remember a few months ago when Tzipi Livni almost got arrested for war crimes. Well, there was an MP in the UK Parliament who was trying to overturn the law, who actually did overturn that ruling by the court. And who was that? Well, none other than the Hasbara, that's right, the Israeli stooge and poster boy propaganda unit in the UK for Israel, that's right, David Miliband. This Zionist stooge was the one who overturned the war crimes ruling and in fact meddled in the UK law. Now, how legal is that? I called up the office to try and find out exactly how legal were they by doing this. Here's what happened.
Calls may be recorded. Connecting. Please hold the line.
Thank you for your call. Please be aware that your call may be recorded for quality monitoring, training and security purposes.
Good afternoon, Foreign and Commonwealth Office.
Yes, sir. Very good afternoon. Hoping to get your name before we continue this call, please.
It's Simon.
Well, Simon, I called up about 2 minutes ago, and I got hung up on when I asked to speak to a press representative of Mr. David Miliband. I believe he's an MP there. So if that's possible, sir, can you put me through to your press release department without hanging up on me this time?
Hold on, please.
Well, I'm going to hold on, sir, but I don't know how long I can for. You know, I'm calling from the United States. Hello?
I'm asking you to hold, sir. Thank you.
Well, how long is it going to be, sir? You know, we don't all have budgets like the MPs to go and waste on things like telephone calls, you know?
Okay, so the press for the Foreign Office will only speak to you if you're not on air at the moment.
Well, we're not on air, sir. That's quite specific. We're not going out live to anywhere. This phone call may be recorded, however. So if they're not willing to go on air, then maybe they should look for another job. Maybe you should, get a different answering service for your machine. Because your answering machine actually said it's going live on air, then it may be recorded. So really, isn't that catch-22? So you're not allowed to talk to anybody because your own service is actually advising people that you could be recorded?
So now that you've confirmed that you're not on air, sir, I can connect you through to the press.
Thanks very much, Simon. I'm waiting for that call to be connected.
No problem.
Is that going to be today?
It's going to be within the next few seconds, yes.
Wow, okay, because we don't all have MPs kind of accounts to spend on telephone calls, you know?
Thank you for calling the SDO Press Office. The news desk operates from 7:30 a.m. until 6:30 p.m. Monday to Friday. We cannot accept media bids between 11:30 in the evening and 6 in the morning. For the latest news and travel advice, log on to www.fco.gov.uk/news. Out of hours, your call will still be answered. Please hold the line. Hello, Press Office.
Yes, and a very good afternoon, ma'am. How are you today?
Who am I speaking to?
Certainly. My name is Steve Johnson, calling from Southeast Asian News. How are you today?
I hope I'm not on air because I'm not speaking to you if I'm on air.
No, ma'am. You're not going out live to any kind of broadcast that's happening at the moment. I can guarantee you of that.
Right. Okay. How can I help?
Well, ma'am, I have a few questions about Mr. David Miliband. I believe he's an MP there in the UK.
Would you like to email me your...
I'd love to, but however, I've got you on the line, so that's fantastic.
Sorry.
I've got a couple of questions I'd love to be answered. First question I have there, don't you think Mr. David...
you email me your questions.
Well, I'd love to, but I've got you on the line here.
No,
so that's fantastic.
To be honest with you, no. I'd rather you email me your questions.
I'm sure you would.
As
I'm sure you wouldn't like to answer questions. That's why I've called up the press department and not called the receptionist. Because press departments are quite used to dealing with people of the media. Are you not, ma'am?
Absolutely.
Are you not used to dealing with people of the media?
Several questions, sir.
I beg your pardon?
You have got several because you have got...
Well, I've only got a couple of questions, so I won't take very long. So if you don't mind, I'd like you to answer them. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, is that what you're hired for? You're hired to answer questions to press release? Is that not correct? The first question I have... Don't you think that David Miliband is actually encroaching on judicial independence by stepping into the Tzipi Livni affair?
I would very much like you to email me your questions so I can send you written replies to that first question to start.
Well,
Okay?
well, that'd be great, but I've got you on the line here. So how about you answer the question?
No, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, you're being hired to answer questions as a press representative.
not gonna be-
If you're failing to answer the question, I fail to see why they're paying you any money.
Do not use that tone with me.
Well, don't use that tone with me,
with
ma'am.
me.
I have a
You're
very
being
simple
aggressive
question.
here.
Very
You're
simple.
being aggressive here. I'm asking you
I'm asking you politely, answer the question.
I'm asking you to send me your questions by email.
Well, I just asked you a question, and you can't even answer me.
Reply to them in writing.
How about you answer the question? Mr. David Miliband
No.
is overstepping his mark as an MP.
I do not have the answer at my fingertips.
Well, why are you working in the press release department if you don't have any answers? Ma'am, are you actually
You have
earning
an
your
answer.
pay?
But okay, if I'm being very clear with you, and I'm going to say it one more time, and that's it. I'm asking you to email me your questions.
I've heard your
Very
request.
happy.
You've said that request 5 times.
You respond.
I don't need an answering machine. You've said that request 5 times. I have a simple question. If you can't answer it, please put me through to somebody who can. That'd be fantastic. You know, that's what press release departments are all about.
I can answer your question.
They're all about
You
answering
say it to
questions.
me.
Do you have anybody there who can answer questions?
I'm saying to you,
Nobody?
I'm someone who can answer your questions, provided you email them to me.
Well, I have an answer to right here. That's why I'm calling. I need an answer right now. I don't want to wait 2-3 days. I don't want to wait for your press release department to give me some spin.
2 or 3 days.
Well, I need an answer now.
I'm going to make you wait 2 or 3 days.
Well, please answer my
Tell
question.
you the Foreign Secretary's statement that he made at the time. See, there was a statement made at the time on that day by the Foreign Secretary. You obviously haven't seen it, and this is why you're calling to us about that issue. And what I intend to do is to email it to you in writing so that you see it. It's a one statement that the Foreign Secretary has issued on the day.
So there's only been one statement he's ever even issued about this subject?
He issued one statement about this subject. We usually issue one statement about the subject, not several.
Well, that was not my question.
He did issue a statement, and it's out there in the public domain, by the way.
Fantastic.
You probably haven't seen it, which is fine.
Wonderful.
I'm very happy to send it to you.
Beautiful.
But you have to email me or give me your email address.
Oh, sure.
They
I'm
have-
going to give you 10 email addresses to send every single one of those to them. And that'll be fantastic. But my question still stands. Don't you think that's an encroachment on civil liberties? And that's an encroachment on justice when he starts to...
I have got...
Excuse me, can I finish your question, please?
Yes.
You're being rude now. You're being hostile and you're being rude. Do they pay you to be rude?
Okay, I've got one answer, which is...
Ma'am, can I finish the question, please?
I'm very happy to send you this...
Can I finish the question, please? Don't overspeak me. Okay? They don't pay you to be rude. They pay you to answer questions. So please, answer my question. Isn't he encroaching on the independence of the judicial system of the UK when he's doing this kind of thing? Simple question.
Sir, I am not going to give you anything above and beyond what the Foreign Secretary...
So that's an admission? You're not going to answer my question because that's true?
See, I'm saying to you, I've got
Wow.
one answer to your question.
I already got the answer, yeah.
Which is a statement that he issued on the day. I'm not going to improvise or add to what the Foreign Secretary has said on the day.
No, you're a press secretary. I expect...
I am not paid to improvise on what the Foreign Secretary has said.
No, you're going to overstep me and you're going to
I've already
overtalk
said.
me and you're
And
going to be rude and you're going to be obnoxious. And frankly, I prefer a little bit...
It's
I
out
would
there
expect a little bit more from somebody in your position.
To email it to you.
Ma'am, I would expect a little bit more from somebody in your position. You're being paid to be a professional. Now be a little bit professional and let me finish my question. Thank you. Okay? Mr. David Miliband has overstepped his mark on the judicial system of the United Kingdom. Don't you think he could actually be charged with that and you could be charged as an accessory? You could actually be committing a crime right now?
I think this conversation is over. Thank you very much.
Well, there's a couple of things that we learned from this phone call. Number one, even if I had have emailed this woman, she would have only sent me the pre-prepared press release that he had said. I still would not have gotten the answer. But we did learn one other thing. This is the kind of programming that these people spin. This is the kind of stuff that they come out with every single time. No matter whether I'm calling the Reserve Bank of America, whether I'm calling the Attorney General's Department of Australia, or the Foreign Office of the UK. They all say the same thing. Please email your questions in so we can respond to you in writing. Well, guess what? Maybe they shouldn't have press departments available by phone. Maybe they should only be available by the internet, if that's the way they want to play the game. But still, whenever they have a phone, it makes an easy target right there for me. This is Steve Johnson signing off saying, go get stuffed, you bastards. Miliband, you're a bleeding tosser. And a very big welcome back. Hey, how's it going, Forum? Great to have your company once again. Well, it's Steve Johnson, back as usual, doing the same old thing and getting some results. We all remember a few months ago when Tzipi Livni almost got arrested for war crimes. Well, there was an MP in the UK Parliament who was trying to overturn the law. Who actually that? I called up the office to try and find out exactly how legal were they by doing this. Here's what happened.
That calls may be recorded. Connecting. Please hold the line.
Thank you for your call. Please be aware that your call may be recorded for quality monitoring, training and security purposes.
Not hanging up on me this time?
Hold on, please.
Well, I'm going to hold on, sir, but I don't know how long I can for. You know, I'm calling from the United States. Hello?
I'm asking you to hold, sir. Thank you.
Well, how long is it going to be, sir? You know, we don't all have budgets like the MPs to go and waste on things like telephone calls, you know?
Okay, so
We did overturn that ruling by the court. And who was that? Well, none other than the Hasbara, that's right, the Israeli stooge and poster boy propaganda unit in the UK for Israel, that's right, David Miliband. This Zionist stooge was the one who overturned the war crimes ruling and in fact meddled in the UK law. Now, how legal is...
Good afternoon, Foreign and Commonwealth Office.
Yes, sir. Very good afternoon. Hoping to get your name before we continue this call, please.
It's Simon.
Well, Simon, I called up about 2 minutes ago, and I got hung up on when I asked to speak to a press representative of Mr. David Miliband. I believe he's an MP there. So if that's possible, sir, can you put me through to your press release department with that?